The story behind Mamacita and Kenni. So who is Mamacita? Mamacita is really serious. She's my baby mama, and she's the reason why we have a typical. Her description in below, her Instagram literally is typically cosplay. So they made atypical because of Mamacita, but literally, there's something really, really, really devastating I have to tell you about why I love Mamacita as a person. She's one of my favorite baby mamas. Like literally, see, literally, I have her, I have Jasenia, I have Polka Dots cosplay, I have so many other. But what makes her dynamic is literally, I care for her as a person like a whole lot. Like literally, I would stand up for her more than other people, more because she's at a disadvantage, but she does the most for her position. Out of all of them, she does the most. But here's how the story goes, because there's a big problem with a lot of people and how they view shit in society. Do you know why Mamacita like literally trains so hard and why she's always inspiring me? She's always trying to be just like me. It's because he has an arch rival named Kenni, and I'm gonna tell you, Kenni was literally, this is cringe's last hope, and I'm going to tell you why it doesn't work and why I'm going to give you hope in this video, but then I'm going to end it, and the reason why you should cling on to that hope. For anybody who's wondering why we're delaying nons, why we're doing this and that, why they're forcing me like to make specials, they forced me to make specials literally because you guys love to gossip. You guys love, canon filler and shit like that. You guys love this and that, and I'm making this. I decided to put passion into these projects so they wouldn't be at my expense. They were doing this so you guys can have debates, so you guys have multiple characters you know to talk about, and it's this that. That's the whole reason why they keep on working me hard from Nons. But I'm gonna tell you one thing: Mamacita is gonna be a character in Nons, and her power is going to be universal mind control. So let's get that knocked out the way. I love Mamacita, but there's a really, really big dark secret that even she knows that she's aware about, but she got over it, and it doesn't affect her nowadays. Do you know why? This is the power of effort, okay? It really, really sucks, but this is the power of effort. So she has a best friend named Kenni who's white. And so I met them both at Crunchyroll, the first time when I met Juvia, aka Lupus Nora, sorry if you want to get cringy. So like anyway, the craziest thing about this is I met them both at the same time, and so literally they were casual anime fans. Like, you get what I'm saying? They were My Hero Academia fans and JoJo fans. So literally, I can tell that Mamacita was confused because she was going to college and they were both on medication. The medication I used to be on before, freaking I literally learned how to live life. I learned how to do shit. I introduced Mamacita and Kenni to all sorts of music. What happened is they weren't stalking me at first, but they started stalking me over time because literally they were hackers. They were this and that. Literally, they were going in and out of the freaking mental hospital because literally they just got enrolled to college, and that was their story. I went to a group home and they started spying on me, like, even though they weren't college. Like, they watched me dance, this and that. Literally, they listened to the same music I listened to, like, literally, the Jiro Stalker or Mood Tricks, and that's how they started off, like, literally. But what was crazy is they were going to school, and I hear, like, literally, I remember back in the days when freaking the air row was going on, and all of them were dick riding Hunter x Hunter, and I didn't want to watch Hunter x Hunter. I felt like it was full of shit, so I started watching it, and it was actually more than I anticipated. It became one of my favorite animes, but at the same time, it made me feel like, literally, I still felt like, yo, this is cool, but, like, literally, this is nothing compared to Naruto. And everybody keeps on saying, well, if it wasn't for Hunter x Hunter, if it wasn't for Hunter x Hunter, we wouldn't have this and that. And literally, I got really, really sick at that attitude. That's like saying, like, literally fucking that Mortal Kombat shit ripped off Batman. Oh, Sasuke ripped off Scorpion. Okay, next thing you know, Scorpion ripped off Batman. Next thing you know, now Kurapika ripped off Batman. I've had enough of this shit. Like, literally, that's the problem with fucking, like, the anime community. It's not stated, but you know what, if I really gotta fucking snitch on people like from Neverworld, Anime Balls Deep, when they're getting good money and they love what they're doing and shit like that, and like literally they find a way to cope with it. I know how it feels like to be on the other side. You can't like literally be 100% you when you're a celebrity, but you can like do certain things like to make your job better, so it won't always be at your expense. Of course, you gotta have to take some L's when you make sure that you have a wife, or make sure you're in a relationship with people that love you before you sign a contract. It makes all the hard work worth it, which is why I get up every day and make projects. Okay, so anyway, the story is this, like, so Kenni is white and like Lee freaking, she listens to Blink 182, all the shit that I listen to, and you know what I do is literally, I already know what they are. I'm super OG compared to them, but do you know what they do with Kenni? Because Mamacita and Kenni pretending to be lesbians, what happened is, there was a day where I got them, pregnant. I got them both pregnant, and they were known for being lesbians online. And literally what happened was this. So, like, Kenni is a really, really, a really, really foul-mouthed dyke, stuff like that. But in all actuality, this is what I'm talking about. And, I'm going to get into Kenni, like, literally. and a little bit because nerds cling on to the relationship between me and her, and why Lily I like to keep things on low. See, is exactly why I keep things on low. You see, I could have criticized her right then and there for like in Blink-182, like being like really basic when it comes to anime. I could have criticized Mamacita too, but guess what society's gonna do? They're gonna be like, oh, they're in school and stuff like that. You have no right to talk to that. Well, I have every right to talk because I've been there, done that. I know that they're lost in life. I know that they have something on paper, but they're lost in the head, Lily. Because I heard Cena like Lily freaking slapping the ending of Hunter x Hunter, like Lily. I'm like, you are very simple-minded, because what she did was she did a whole bunch of, like, you know, crazy animes like Promise Neverland, the fucking Demon Slayer, fucking all this popular shit. Then out of nowhere she wants to slap the Hunter x Hunter ending, you know, shit that I would listen to. That's reverse psychology. I'm like, no, you have to be able to be accepting of listening to that kind of music all the time, not listen to a good beat song out of nowhere when you listen to nothing but folk music, and then all of a sudden you listen to fucking EDM. I don't like that shit, because you know why? Because that is literally that's literally fucking listening to music through a fucking styrofoam cup. That's how I view that shit. Because you know why? It's because they're doing that to fit in, because they have no other influence, and it's cool, but when they listen to songs like fucking that I have on my iPod, they realize it's not just beat, it's substance, and that is literally where she really learned the stuff that, and that's why they ended up homeless. They were in school, so once I started like Lily cosplaying, what happened is I started sending dick pics to myself. Like Lily, I would send dick pics to myself, and I would take advantage that girls would hack me. So whenever they would saw a dick pic, they would see it. Lily, they would come out of their minds, then they would come to my house. So like Lily, I would fuck the shit out of the girls just by sending myself a dick pic. That's how famous I am. I'm like, Lily, oh, so Stone. So instead of sending it to myself, knowing that people hack me, like Lily, you want me to send it to a girl and get in trouble for sexual harassment. And that's what stole it. That's what everybody else fucking hates about me. The fact that I take advantage of the fact of keeping things in the low. And so, like, Lily, what happens is this, like, Lily, they went fucking homeless for me, and then they met up with Spice. And so, if you don't know who Spice is like, Lily, a girl who failed to make me a bare meal provider, but then she posted on her Instagram and she said, nothing go. And so, she gave me permission to have sex for her. Even Stone was trying to say, you know what, Riz? All you had to do was be patient. She said a year, and all you had to do was wait a year, and all you had to do was be patient. Then she gave it up to me, like, eventually, she like, it's like, you're a retard. You could have got your whole media thing on the way. You could have got a collab. You didn't need Corey Grizzly. Literally, you could have had it with fucking Spice, but I called out bullshit. He doesn't understand the benefit you get in life for calling out bullshit. But you know what? I can't do that to Kenny. And that's the whole meaning of this video. And that's the whole reason why they made Atypical for Mamacita and not Kenny. You know, freaking, I even tried texting Sita the day lately I figured out she got pregnant, and I called her Mamacita on the comment section. I didn't get a reply. You know why? Because Tiger was sexually harassing her, and then Tiger came out with the song Mamacita. So, like, literally, fucking, so, like, literally, that's why he literally came out with the song so fucking soon, and she couldn't talk back, but that was also her position. They did that with Julia, they did that with everyone. They made me think, like, yo, you think you have a personality, but because you're not trying, it's not as hard as you think it is. Maybe if you would try every day, like, you're trying out for a sport and stuff like that, maybe you would have better benefits. I'm in the real world now. I have to get paid to do shit like that. You have to understand that. There needs to be a mutual benefit when you're putting that much effort. What happens is this. So 2019 comes along lately. They're used to, like, you know, stalking me and shit like that lately. They get excited for me to go to Vegas for Level Up Expo 2019, back when I cosplay as Jalal. And so they fake being someone. So, like, Mamacita didn't even freaking watch Mob Psycho 100, but she loved the way I was watching. She was watching me watch anime, and she picked Dimple out of fucking nowhere. Like, all she did was literally put some Chaosu rings on her fucking cheeks and shit like that. She's like, oh, I'm from Mob Psycho 100. And so literally, she wanted me to grab her ass, but instead I grabbed her hip, and she still couldn't handle it. And that's why I know about little girls, man. I know about that. And she is like literally freaking 3 years younger than me and shit. It doesn't fucking matter. Do you understand, like, literally how much I've been fucking shunned by society? But you know why that's a good thing? Like, you don't want girls that literally are imprinted by society. They become thrice as literally hard to submit, because literally they were new to this world, because they weren't introduced to all the stuff that I was introduced to. Like, literally, so I introduced them to, like, fucking gorillaing and stuff like that. There was a time where literally fucking, like, literally I was getting handcuffed and fucking the first time I went to jail, and fucking Kenny and all them were fucking, you know, they were laughing at me and shit, because literally fucking they knew I was gonna get out, but they were laughing at me because fucking, like, literally I was a celebrity and shit like that, and they were all like, literally, I was doing dramatic shit, like I was putting my hands behind my back, I was telling the cop, yo, that's fucking fucking take me already. I already slapped her ass. I already told you, she fooled me, she was twerking. Let's fucking take me to jail already. And he kept to say, well, calm down, fucking, let me get, like, I just want your side of the story. I'm like, dude, I already fucking did it. And like, literally, I was trying to tell the cop that, and I laid back and like, literally on the floor, like pretending that I'm about to fall asleep. I'm like, yo, just fucking take me. If like literally, fucking this and that, like, and Kenny and them start laughing, like, literally, because they're probably taught by a gang member, like, yo, he shouldn't be acting like that. He should just roll with the flow. He should just be way more chill. He's not a stereotypical black guy like how he thinks he is. It's like, why are you making a show when you really should just literally just go with the flow and shit like that? Like, literally, because you know why? Because I call out bullshit. That's why. That is the whole fucking reason why. And so what happened was literally just so like literally I see on Kenny she posted on Instagram, she's like, I don't like literally it's like literally she posted like a opinion poll or some shit like that, like a Q&A, and like they answered like she's like literally and like, well, how do you define your personality? She's like, well, I don't overreact during situations. I'm very calm during situations, and she's referencing how I got handcuffed and shit. So Kenny literally was a total fucking bitch, and Sita literally was immature, but they both had an ego complex, but Mamacita lost her ego complex really, really, really quick dealing with Kenny shit. Because I'll tell you like this, you know that next time I met them, I could tell they both got pregnant literally because Mamacita's titties got bigger. So I met them at Cultural 2018, and I met them at Cultural 2019, and her titties got hella fucking bigger, fucking like her, literally, her stomach was already getting fucking bigger, and then fucking like literally what happened was literally Kenny was picking the character from fucking Persona, they were both in cosplay and shit, so literally fucking Cito was trying to tell me, like, Lily, this and that. Oh, yeah, I remember you. This is like that. So, like, Lily, it was all cool. So, this is the thing I hate about girls. There's this thing that, Lily, you make me go into second gear because of your position in society. What happens is, I know tricks to make a girl's pussy wet, but it's kind of cheating, basically. Like, how I got away with like grabbing all that ass was somewhat cheating, but I earned that skill over time. But this is completely cheating. Like, literally, there's this thing that I know how I walk in order to make a girl's pussy wet. Like, literally, what I do is like, literally, I pretend to do a pimp walk at literally fucking I make sure that my colors, I have blue shoes on, and what I did was I started like literally implanting my fucking heel into the ground when I was walking. Like, I'm sticking my cleats in the fucking mud. And literally, so what happened was Kenny literally, see, grabbed Mamacita as soon as we were having good chemistry. As soon as she was giving me street code that, like, we fucked and I got her pregnant, all of a sudden, Kenny came out of nowhere, because Kenny's a dyke, and she plays that this dyke shit is getting in the way of her hormones, and it's not, and it never does. And I can never call Kenny out, and nerds love that shit. People like Stone love that shit, like, Lee, because there was this one time at family where she cosplayed as my favorite characters from Naruto, Neji. Kenny cosplayed as Neji, specifically for me to grab her ass, but I wasn't ready to do it at the time, because fucking this and that, so like, really fucking I was really, so when I got to the second Drip 2 outfit, you know, I had 2 outfits for Todoroki, so like literally fucking I asked if I could take another one when I was a little bit more confident, you know, like literally, so like literally I asked if I could take another one, and then like she said, oh, you can't take another one, but she smiled at me, and I already knew I could have did it at the beginning, but they already mislabeled me a predator. So like literally, it was Kenny at the fucking dance. She was watching me go over there dancing, even like everybody knew that it was all gonna be good, but literally she looked at me, she's like, you really think I'm gonna reward you after all this? Like, bitch, you are the biggest freak of all time. Like literally, that's literally what I keep inside, and I can't say that out loud, and you don't understand. So after Cena at 2019 Crunchyroll was talking about, oh, like Lily, this and that, like Lily, we were having fun. So Lily, Kenny pops out of nowhere with her Persona cosplay, Lily thinking that she's hot shit, and she grabs fucking Cena and say, Lily, she's like, oh, this is my boyfriend, this and that, like Lily. When I know I got both of you fucking pregnant, just like that, I'm like, oh, so you don't want to take a picture, Kenny, and this and that. I didn't even call it out. I was like, oh, you don't want to take a picture? She's like, no, you know, I'm not, you know, like, I don't really take pictures like that, and I just got you fucking pregnant. This is how girls are. This is how, literally, how big the mask is in society. But you know what I did? I did the cheating move. What I did was, I did that fucking pimp walk. I planted my blue shoes into the fucking ground, literally, each and every time. Like, I was sticking my cleats in the fucking mud, and every time I pushed it went squish, 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 and so, literally, so after she pretended to be brand new, literally, like, cock blocking me from Mamacita, literally trying to be acting like, oh, I'm defending my girlfriend for being raped, or you're the one who fucked me and shit like that. That is the reality of the situation. I have that many complex relationships. She's like dyke, and she's trying to act like she's not horny for dick, and I see right through that, but I don't call it out. Do you know what I did? I was super fucking mad that I couldn't call it out. So you know what I did? I cheated. I did the pimp walk. I knew it was gonna make her pussy wet. I knew it was cheating. So like Lily, she's like, Lily, oh, so this is my boyfriend. I'm like, oh, and then I proceed with the pimp walk, and it makes her pussy wet. That shit's cheating to me. Do you know why? Because I couldn't persuade her with my words. I couldn't, like, Lily, make her submissive, like Lily, by making her realize me impregnating her, me having something kicking in her stomach isn't enough to make her submit. So the shit that Stone tries to come at me with is nothing. I know I can't get respect for her at that point. Lily, I can't call her out for shit, so I had to resort to cheat. And do you know how fucking frustrating that is? That's like literally you having to try when you're a grown ass man, like literally you're a fucking tall as Ray Romano, you're 6'2", and that little kid, literally you have to try against the little fucking kid when he's that short. That's exactly how it feels like when I face up a kid. Like literally, I was working an advanced technique at fighting because I couldn't get you civilly. I couldn't treat you like the little kid you are because you're heavily protected by society. Do you know how much that pisses me off? And so afterwards, like literally, the climbing from Mamacita to Kenni, I forget that Kenni exists sometimes, and Mamacita is always fucking relevant. So you know what they did with fucking Atypical? There's this rumor on the street, like, you know how many people come at me with that angle the same as Kenni? Like, oh, you wouldn't dare grab Kenni. You wouldn't dare spank Kenni. Like, you wouldn't dare, like, go there with fucking Kenni. And you know how she's a dyke, you know how she has that perfect stereotype, you know how she used to be a medication shit. They don't pay attention to that. They pay attention to the fact that she's a dyke. Oh, maybe you should, you know, you acting all tough and shit. You wouldn't dare go up and grab Kenni. I know exactly what they come out their angles with. Each and every fucking time. And I know not to call it out. And that also infuriates me as a fucking man. I had to go in the second gear. I had to literally, you should have already been submissive by the fact that I nutted in you. I nutted in you, have something manifesting in you, and you're still acting like a spoiled brat. You don't understand how infuriating that is for a grown man. You don't understand. So literally, after all that, you know, Sia got tired of dealing with Kenni shit, and so guess what happened to Kenni? Kenni tried doing the same thing to Sia, and Sia ended up putting Kenni in and out of jail. I'm sorry, like literally, fucking, and Sia gets crazy. And the thing about fucking Kenni is, Mamacita became so mature that Kenni finally fucking got with the times, and she finally got tired of they're attacking me, so she posted on Instagram, like, we need to change this culture, like, you know, fucking, like, you know, and she literally spilled all the beans on the table, after they made Atypical for Sita, after they literally did this and that, and reason, that's the exact reason why they made it for Sita and not Kenni, because they keep on saying, oh, you're not as tough as you think you are. If you were so tough as you think you are, you would have grabbed Kenni. You fucking idiot. I'm not gonna fall for your trap. It was really damn, but literally, it was nothing for me at the time because I know how girls work, so I didn't really have to deal with Kenni shit. I like literally, there were fucking other shit I could have did to make Kenni fucking submit, but you get what I'm saying, fucking, I'm not at the time, but I'm talking about fucking like literally, how the fact that I have to play this fucking Batman game with girls is fucking infuriating, and you don't understand that, like you don't understand, like that's the power of like literally, the isolation technique, but at the same time, like, you have to fucking stand. Like, literally, what happened when she posted that is like, this cancel culture is really toxic, all about rewriting history, all about literally favoring the weak and not giving anything to the strong and this and that. And then Sita looks at her after knowing what game is, after we have Atypical, after her literally going in and out of fucking jail, not recognizing what the fuck she did in the situation, and that's the reason why they cannot use her as an example anymore. You see how she was protected by all those stereotypes in society, by how literally I kept it cool and I let the story unfold for itself. You don't understand that. So she looked at Kenni, she's like, like literally fucking, she walked off, and Kenni was wondering, what did I do wrong? I'm actually trying to be a good person now. And she was completely fucking oblivious to the fact that nobody was gonna back up her statement. She wasn't being street smart at all about posting that shit, and this is why she's not one of the most responsible one out of my baby mamas. Like literally fucking Sita and fucking Polka, literally, they all, like literally, she literally does the most work for baby mama, and they all respected her, and she literally was 1,000 levels more mature than Kenni at the end of the journey. I still love Kenni. Kenni is hella cool, but that's the difference in like literally, and I know she loves me too, and that's literally, that's out because literally, but at the same time, this is the thing I know about life. This is the thing I know about humans, and this is the thing I know about girls. And like literally, and that's the reason why she like literally, she stood up and like literally, she spoke up and she literally looked at her. She's like, you learned nothing. It's the exact reason why you're gullible and why you posted that is the same reason why that gives nerds hope. You're making us look bad when you do that. It's like you're discarding the situation that we have to be hard on them, that we have to be the ones to enforce the fact that they can't be weenies because literally they are the ones with the freedom to help us like literally expand society, yet they want to take the gangster out and like literally stay inside all day, fucking stay in the same street. Do you know that equivalent of an anime otaku going to a liquor store and buying snacks is the same equivalent of a black guy literally going on the same street making the same drug deal every day? It's the same fucking formula. You're depriving yourself from the outside world on both sides. It doesn't matter what context it is. The context is you're depriving yourself from the fucking world. And she understands what greed now is, and so she looked at Case is like, man, what fucking ever. You haven't learned shit from being homeless. You haven't learned shit from doing this and that. Like, she shunned the fuck at Kenni. And you know, but you know what's the sad reality? So what if Kenni started to do squats? What if Kenni's ass started to get bigger? Don't you think that would put Mamacita at a significant, disadvantage if Kenni started to try? And that's what you call greed. But does that take away my love for Sita? Fuck no. I'm always gonna like her better than Kenni. Like, literally, fucking, do you know why? Because that's how the backstory originated, and that's literally this. I still love them equally. That's a metaphoric statement. I'm talking about literally. If you actually want to talk about give credit where credit is due, Mamacita smack. So there's no such thing as literally this now, but best believe that there will be a disadvantage because Kenny's ass is bigger. Kenny's ass is obviously bigger. It's like literally, it's literally almost literally twice as big as Sita's. Is like literally, the problem was fucking this. It's literally, I'm not going to take the fact that her ass is bigger over the denial, but I'm talking about that's a part of game. Don't think I'm not going to be able to recognize the difference. Do you understand that? Don't think I'm not going to be able to recognize the difference. Understand that, okay? That doesn't mean that, Lily, I already expressed how I love them both equally, but let me tell you, that's where game is. You have to take all that, each and every second of the video and the information, because if you don't, you won't, Lily, you won't ever get on my level, and you definitely won't survive at life, because we're doing these fundraisers for you, nerds, so please don't ignore this shit.